Okay, so I've gotten a ton of requests over the course of the last couple of weeks, and I haven't been able to indulge them all just yet, but I figured I'd knock out a couple today and see what we could come up with. First of all, obviously you can see, is the Copa Mundial, firm ground, obviously, against the adiPure 4, also the firm ground editions. And when I say versus, obviously it's not really these two boots facing off or anything like that. It's really more of just a compare and contrast type of deal. They're both very similar boots. One has been driving the sales of this company for God knows how long. I believe since the late 70s, 1978, I believe specifically. And the adiPure 4, obviously the newcomer to the game, but both of them are very solid shoes. Both of them are kangaroo leather uppers, bladed versus conical studs. Obviously, bladed being on the adiPure 4, conical on the Copa Mundial. And you have removable pre-molded sock liners here on the adiPure 4. Obviously, another one of the major differences between the two. And then over here, just your standard die-cut EVA sock liner on there. And between the two of them, truthfully, the biggest differences are just the shape of the upper. As you've probably noticed before, here you've got your bladed studs there on the adiPure 4. Conical on your Copa Mundial. The old conical versus bladed stud argument is just about as as weathered as any argument as there is between soccer cleats, so I'm not going to go too much into that. Obviously, both of them have their pros and cons. One is really not any better than the other, so I guess I'm not really going to get into that too much. When it comes to just, natural firm grass, traction, that sort of thing, generally your bladed stud tends to be a little bit better for keeping you where you need to be, whereas a conical stud right there is, they really don't provide nearly as much traction as the bladed ones, but at the same time they do other things well. For instance, weight distribution, so they don't cause you as much pain or soreness or really anything on the bottom of your feet. These things truthfully are they really are an excellent boot. There's not much to them. They're just kind of your average kangaroo leather upper, conical studs, riveted outsole, and die-cut EVA sock liner. But nevertheless, they are extremely comfortable. They fit almost any foot. They're just, wide foot, narrow foot, doesn't really matter. The Copa Mundial will do the job for you. The adiPure 4 is really designed more for narrow feet, in particular kind of narrow, short feet. You can see on the upper here, it's got a really low profile from tongue to toe. It's not one we recommend for people with fully grown or fully developed feet. Actually, growing feet tend to have a little bit lower arches as well, so it doesn't take up nearly as much real estate there. Truthfully, between one or the other, it's a pick-em. You can really go with either one. Neither is an overly exceptional cleat, technology-wise or anything like that, but they're both extremely comfortable. Their materials are durable. Just good boots. Not really much to set them apart. So, I would say if you're really looking for a boot that works all around, you just want to be able to play with it at any position, anywhere on the field, the Copa probably makes more sense for you, only because the weight of the shoe is pretty low for a kangaroo leather upper, for an all kangaroo leather shoe. The weight's pretty low, and then on top of that, also the traction of the shoe really provides for decent cutting and decent turning, but not exceptional. So as a result, when you're playing at the back and you've just got to take off and go, these really do toe off a lot better than the blades do. So you're going to find you can accelerate just a little bit quicker in the conical studs than you will in a bladed one. But yeah, other than that, just both really comfortable, really classic shoes. One of the reasons why you're going to see this shoe actually start to go in a more modern direction starting next year with the adiPure 11 Pro line, you're going to notice that it's kind of getting a little bit of an update. And the reason for that is simply because Adidas does not want to see the same sort of competition for the Copa that it's had for the last couple of years, so they can kind of drive sales back to the Copa as far as a classic boot goes. And the adiPure 4 is going to start to see some wacky color ups and new technology, and once it becomes the 11 Pro line, and you'll find that it really does kind of support that Copa Mundial and the classic line. So, but anyway, if you guys have any questions, obviously you know where to get to us. We are expanding all sorts of stuff when it comes to Facebook and Twitter and all that sort of stuff. We actually have some pretty cool stuff we're going to let you in on in just a little bit too, so stay tuned for the next couple videos. Thanks, guys.